Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Thunder Today YouTube channel. I am your host, Dylan Hibbard, and the NBA draft night is upon us. It feels crazy just because we were celebrating a Thunder championship yesterday, and now we focus on to the next season, and tonight is the NBA draft. Obviously, the big story of tonight will be Cooper Flag going number one overall to the Dallas Mavericks, who miraculously had a 1.6% chance to do it, and they jump all the way up, and they will most likely end up with Cooper Flag. But you also have a bunch of different storylines in this, such as Dylan Harper most likely going to the Spurs. How are the Spurs going to look like by the end of the night? Do they trade that pick? Do they trade picks like 14 or something? We'll see what the Spurs have in store. And then another one is kind of Ace Bailey, who was the third-ranked prospect in this draft, expected to go third to the Sixers early on, and then it's come out that he's had some interview problems, some workout problems, and just really not wanting to work with the Sixers at all. So, and he's a very raw talent, so he's most likely going to drop to that, I would say, 6 to 9 range. I feel like there's no way he goes past like 7. I think if the Wizards are there at 6 and he's still there, I don't think the Wizards should think second, and I think they should go with a guy who's very raw, yes, but he has so much potential, and if you can get the right pieces around him, and if you use him correctly, he can become a star in this league. So something to kind of look out for. And then kind of the big thing that we're going to talk about today is OKC's chances of moving up into the top 10 of this draft. Now, there's been a bunch of different people on Twitter, whatever that may be, insiders saying that the Thunder are looking to trade into the top 10 tonight. I think it's a very good idea. You have, I believe, like 4 or 5 picks, including the second round in this draft. And when you have 15 players on your roster already, there's no room for any players, actually. I mean, 15 is the max you can have. So I could very well see the Thunder saying, let's trade 15, 24, and both of our second round picks to possibly, say, move up to number 8 where the Brooklyn Nets are, or I think 8 is where the Thunder are kind of looking. I think Brooklyn Net is the team to trade for. I think Brooklyn's kind of in that spot where you need to kind of get more draft picks, and this is a draft where maybe you're looking at somebody and you believe that they might be there 15 or later, and there might be multiple prospects that you want to take, where if you accept this trade where OKC moves up to 8, and we'll kind of talk about who I think their 2 biggest acquisitions for trading up will be. But I just think from a standpoint, I think you kind of, if you're OKC, you kind of have to. I mean, they said that Presti's been on the phone all morning kind of figuring things out on what they want to do, and I think it's a great idea to move up into the top 10. I think this is one of those drafts where you should trade draft picks to get up into that top, whatever it might be, top 10. And this is going to be a very deep draft class, and I think there's going to be a lot of really good players for a very long time in the NBA that come out of this draft, whether it's Cooper Flag, Dylan Harper, Ace Bailey, VJ Edgecombe, Trey Johnson, stuff like that. And I just think from a standpoint where you could also, if the Thunder, like I said in the last video, if they want to go after a guy like Cam Johnson, maybe you do end up trading a bunch of picks and a couple of players that really didn't make a big of an impact, like an Ousmane Dieng or something. Ousmane Dieng, a couple of picks, move up for Cam Johnson and the 10th overall pick. I feel like that's asking a lot of the Brooklyn Nets. I feel like you're going to have to give up a lot for that. But, I mean, it is Sam Presti, and we never want to underestimate what Sam Presti does or how he approaches it. If I'm another GM and Presti calls me, I kind of just want to hang up, because he's proven that every single trade he does, he's going to get a very good prospect or player. He's going to get something out of it. So, I mean, I know these GMs are they're obviously in a business and they're not worried about that. But if I were one of those GMs, I would be hesitant to give up stuff for the Thunder and Sam Presti. Now, kind of talking about players that the Thunder are looking at, I think if the Thunder trade up, these are the two players that they're going to want to trade up for. I think Derek Queen from Maryland and Colin Murray Boyles from South Carolina. Derek Queen was a freshman on Maryland, a big body, a big man down low, and that's kind of what I said yesterday. I think if the Thunder trade up, I think they trade up to get a backup big man and get some big man depth in there for Chet and Hartenstein. And I think Derek Queen is the perfect prospect for the Thunder to trade up and get. He is such a big body. He rebounds so well. He has a great post game. And I just think from the Thunder's need outside of 3-point, I think getting a backup big man is something that could really help this team. And even for next year, I know you win the championship and you're going to have the same exact team, but other teams are going to make moves to keep improving. So you yourselves need to find out, okay, we were amazing and we had an all-time season, but where were our weaknesses? And if they were smart, they would realize their weakness was probably a backup big man, because your bench is Wallace, Caruso, Wiggins as your three off the bench. You need a big guy because those are two guards and a wing. So I think that's a very likely possibility if the Thunder trade up who they go after. And I think another one is Colin Murray Boyles. He's kind of flustered on a lot of draft boards. I see him as high as like 8, and I see him as low as Thunder actually picking him at 15. So, I mean, there could be a scenario where if he does fall that far, the Thunder don't need a trade up into the draft, and they could wait at 15 for him. He's another wing, but he's a bigger wing. And I just think his athleticism is something that's very underrated, and I think that he kind of molds into what the Thunder are looking at, a defense guy, and then kind of going from there and kind of growing your offensive game. So I think my personal favorite out of these two is Derek Queen, but I've seen a lot of reports talking about Colin Murray Boyles to the Thunder, so I could see either one of these guys going. I'm just kind of interested to see what Sam Presti's what he's kind of thinking throughout right now and kind of what his plans are for tonight, because I mean, you just celebrated a championship and all these guys are so close, so it's kind of hard to say you want to trade one of those guys to get up into the top 10 or whatever it might be. So at the end of the day, it's a business, and the Thunder are still going to be great no matter what happens tonight in the draft. And even if it's not either one of these guys, even if the Thunder don't move up into the top 10 and pick somebody that you weren't really looking for on your big board, that's okay. I mean, we've seen it. Like, Jalen Williams wasn't a big prospect coming out. You had Wallace at the 10th pick. You had Aaron Wiggins in the second round, pick number 55. You had these guys. So for the most part, you kind of have to trust the Thunder's drafting. And even if we're not getting a big guy or something, that they're going to end up kind of knowing more than we will, and kind of we should trust them. I mean, they've given us every reason not to trust them. And it's going to turn out to be a great night. I mean, how many trades are we going to see? We could see Thunder trades. We could see maybe possibly the Sixers trading that third pick. I've seen rumors about that rolling around, maybe trying to trade the third pick and Paul George to try to get off that contract of Paul George. So we'll kind of see what's happening. I feel like this is definitely going to be, I don't know what my prediction is for how many trades. I could definitely see 3's my number. I think we see 3 trades tonight. I would not be surprised if there's more, with just a bunch of different movement, especially with what the Celtics have been doing. There's no telling what they might do tonight. But I think somewhere in that 3 to 4 trades range, I think we definitely see one in the top 10. I think we see it pretty quickly on who's moving and whether it might be the Thunder or whether it might be somebody else trading out of the top 10. So and then one thing I wanted to talk about, I don't know if everybody was able to see, I'm sure, because it's kind of trending around, especially on Thunder socials and in general. At the parade yesterday, they were going down through the Oklahoma City Memorial, just kind of on that way. And this photographer took a picture with Shea, had his hands up. He was on the bus celebrating. And on the background, you could just see one of the memorials for the Oklahoma City bombing memorial. And to me that it's just one of the greatest pictures in Oklahoma history, not only for Oklahoma City, but I mean, it's a very just kind of the state in general. I mean, what everybody had to go through those bombing memorials, and then to have that picture 30 years later being champions and on top of the basketball world, and just to have that picture. If you guys haven't seen it, please, I'm sure it's somewhere out there on one of your socials. It's just a tremendous picture, and it really shows how Oklahoma City and Oklahoma as a state came together for these guys. These guys have given us all that they could, and we could not ask for any less. And we just, I mean, it was, man, it was a beautiful picture, and I hope you guys can see it. It's just, I mean, man. But that will be it for me today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down below if you guys are going to be watching this draft and kind of what your predictions are, if you see it before draft night, or if you see it after draft and you kind of know what the Thunder already did. Let me know what you think about who they drafted and all of that down below. But that will be it for me today, guys. I hope I will see you in the next one. Peace.